Hey there! I made a video recently about Appalachian Trail terms, and there's so many more that I wanted to add, and a lot of people left some in the comments that were good ones and I had forgotten to mention. So this is a follow-up or video number 2 about Appalachian Trail slang terms, acronyms. So there are, it's like I said earlier in my first video, it's almost like a whole nother language with with the terms and things people say in regards to the trail, hiking the Appalachian Trail or any other trail. Some are specifically for the AT, but most of them are just used in general. So here are some more terms that are used on the trail or about the trail that you should probably know about, at least be in the know. So here we go. SAR, S-A-R, that is referred to search and rescue. It's a team that will come out to help you if you're in trouble. A bear fortune cookie is referred to as a tent. And I found that one kind of funny, but yeah, that is what that one means. A Widowmaker, yeah, that I forgot to mention that one earlier. Is a Widowmaker is a when you have a lot of dead trees with loose limbs, like here's one behind me, with like that one right there. Lots of old, dry, loose limbs. You wouldn't want to camp under a tree like that because throughout the night, if the wind blows and a branch falls down, it could have the potential to hit you and possibly kill you, making your spouse a widow. So that's what Widowmaker, that's referred to as tree limbs that could possibly fall, so don't camp underneath them. Let's see, a bear piñata, yes. If you don't know how to properly hang your bear bag or your food bag, it turns into a piñata for the bears, and they just have a good time whacking at it and climbing up the tree to get it down until they get all the contents inside, like a piñata. So learn how to hang your food bags properly. There's lots of different methods and ways to do that, so it'd be wise to know how to do that, because I did see people's food bag get taken by a bear and ripped open, and they just had a great time, and that hiker was out of food for a few days. So not cool, and so avoid that. The term bonk, we use that a lot in ultra running and running races, but it's also used in hiking. Bonk, B-O-N-K, that is when you've pretty much hit a wall or run out of energy. Kind of rough time to have. That's what bonk means. Cowboy coffee. That is the old-fashioned way of making coffee. You're just taking coffee grinds and mixing it with water and hoping for the best, but that's pretty much it. That's cowboy coffee. Drop boxes. So it's a fancy word for resupply. If you're going to resupply, if you're sending yourself boxes, it's something that you have mailed yourself to a box to a hostel or a town, a post office, where you have your supplies inside to resupply. And resupplying is when you go into a town to get more supplies like food and whatnot for the next few days being out on the trail. This one, Giardia. This is nobody wants to deal with this one. This is not good news for hikers at all. Giardia is a condition. It's a nasty intestinal problem that you will get if you drink unfiltered water that has this enzyme in it. It's like an infection of the lower intestines. It's nasty to get. Nobody wants to get it. It will get you off the trail for a few days. Like you'll have major bathroom issues. If you want to hear a really funny story, ask about Fresh Ground and his Giardia experience. It's hilarious. But yeah, that's something no hiker wants to deal with or have, so filter your water. Let's see, scat is referred to as animal droppings. Scrambling. Scrambling is, and there's a few places where you'll have to scramble on the Appalachian Trail, and that is when you have to put your trekking poles away and use your hands and to climb over either boulders or rocks or rough terrain. That's what we refer to as scrambling. Crampons. You'll hear that in the wintertime. People that need to use a thing that you put on the bottom of your shoes. They're like little spikes to get some traction in the snow so that you can make it through it. Bonus miles. Bonus miles. Nobody wants to do bonus miles. Bonus miles are extra miles that do not count towards the AT hike that you're doing, but you have to do them anyway. You'll have to do that to like get to a hostel that's off the trail or to get to a town that's off the trail. If you don't get a ride or a shuttle, and you have to hike some extra miles to get to where you need to go, those are referred to as bonus miles. And people that are through hiking try to do the least amount of bonus miles as possible. Switchbacks are, it's like a serpentine. When you're going down a steep mountain, and it's just too steep to walk straight down, you're going to do a zigzag pattern back and forth down the mountain, and that is what's called switchbacks. Let's see, dirty girls. They're my favorite kind of gaiters. They're little ankle cloth fabric that goes around your ankles to protect your shoes from getting dirt and rocks and sticks and such getting into your shoes. They are wonderful. I love them. I have lots of pairs, and a lot of people out on the trail wear gaiters, and specifically dirty girls. So that's what that's all about. L&T, leave no trace. Thru hikers get very passionate about this, myself included. You do not want to leave trash, especially at shelters or anywhere. You don't want to leave any evidence that you were there. You want to practice good leave no trace and skills. There's lots of videos on that. I'll do one later on the importance and the common practices of doing that, but you really don't want to make it known or seen that you were even on the trail. Don't leave trash, don't leave any of that stuff. When you use the bathroom, dig a cat hole and do it properly. But people and hikers especially are very passionate about leave no trace and very frowned upon if you do not know what that's all about and how to practice it properly. So single track. A single track is when you have to go single file, like the trail is not large or wide enough to have multiple people going at the same time, and you have to use a single track. When you need to do that, it becomes important, like if you're going up a really steep incline and only one person can go at a time. If you've got one person going up and one person coming down, then you can get into a traffic jam. And the rule of thumb is that the person that is going up has the right of way, because they're working harder, they're huffing through getting up that mountain, and it's rather than break their stride, then the person that is coming down should try to step aside so that they can continue going up. But that's what a single track situation would be. Okay, trail candy. Trail candy is a person, male or female, doesn't matter, that is attractive, that is not hard to look at, that people want to hike with because they get an eyeful. They're not too difficult to watch and hike with. That would be trail candy. 14er. 14ers are referred to mountains that are over 14,000 feet. There's a whole bunch of them in New Hampshire, and so that's what that is referred to, 14ers. A bear burrito. Bear burrito is referred to as a hammock because a person is in there like a burrito and bears will come and mess with them. That's just not, hopefully that doesn't happen, but that's what it means. Dry camping. Okay, that is something to be aware of and know. Dry camping is when you have a place that you want to camp, and it could be like a designated camp area, or it could be like at a shelter, whatever the case, but they don't have a water supply that is there. So that's referred to as a dry camp area. So you'll have to get water before you get to that location. So if you hear that term, that camping area is a dry camp spot, then be sure you get water on the way so that you have water to cook with or whatnot when you get there. Let's see. Oh, and I don't think in the last video I went over SOBO and NOBO, southbound and northbound. So when you're going northbound, like I will be in 2021, that is when you are hiking from Springer Mountain to Maine, to Katahdin. So that would be NOBO. If you're going SOBO, southbound, you're starting at Katahdin, you're going to Springer Mountain, you're going south. So Springer Mountain is the beginning of the trail on the southern side, and Katahdin, Mount Katahdin, is the northern point of the trail on the north side. That's the start and finish, whichever way you look at it. And let's see what else I got. Harper's Ferry is in the middle. Well, it's not technically the middle. It's about 1,000 miles in if you're going NOBO, but it's kind of considered the unofficial halfway point. But it's a fun stop. It's a little side trail to get to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, and that's fun to stop at. If you can, definitely try to do that. And you go into the Conservancy, you get your picture taken, you could sign the logbook there that you're there, and you'll get one of those little decals, markers saying that you're a thru hiker, and it's a fun experience. Mountain money is referred to as toilet paper. Pack it out. When people say pack it out, that means pack out your trash, pack out anything that you would leave behind. Don't leave it behind. Pack it out. Pack it out to the next garbage can or town or whatever. But do not leave any trace. Do not leave your trash. Let's see. Power hiker. Power hikers are hikers that put in large miles. They can hike typically 20 plus miles a day, and they are just beasts. They wake up early in the morning. They hike late into the night sometimes, and they cover some serious miles. So those are power hikers, which leads me to trail legs. When you get your trail legs, it means that your legs have gotten muscle and they're very strong, and you are able to knock out some serious miles without a problem. And that also will be followed by hiker hunger. Hiker hunger hits usually a week or two after you start the trail, but it is a famished amount of feeling that you are always hungry. You're blowing through so many calories that it just you really have that hiker hunger, and people will talk about it. So all you can eat places are a good thing, or places where you can resupply and get a big meal. Hikers will look forward to that. The next one is a purist. That is an interesting one. A lot of hikers, thru hikers, want to be sure that they are purists. So a purist is when you hike every part in every piece of the trail. You don't skip anything. You're sure not to even skip a few feet of the trail. You are sure to cover every inch of the trail, and you're going to pass every single white blaze, and that's what being a purist is as a hiker. I was a purist when I went through in 2018, and I'll be a purist again when I go in 2021, but it's like you don't want to do any yellow blazing, like skipping sections by a car or anything like that. If you do that, then you're not a purist. 3-season, sometimes you will see this in a lot of forums. They'll talk about 3-season. It's usually referred to as your tent, a 3-season tent. That means your tent will withstand the elements for 3 different seasons, which is spring, summer, and fall. And usually it's not rated for winter. So you'll have to get a 4-season tent if you plan to camp in or thru hike in the winter. So most tents are 3-season tents, and that's what that means. A trail bum. A trail bum is a person that has hiked the trail a lot or possibly lives on the trail. They don't get off the trail, they just are hikers, and they just keep going up and down the trail, and they live out there. They usually have a lot of knowledge, and they're very, very experienced. So a good person to get advice from if you run into a trail bum. And let's see, two more. A tree line. When you are hiking and you get to a mountain that is above tree line, it just means that the altitude is high enough where trees are not able to grow. So when you say you're above tree line, that means you're pretty high up a mountain, which is a pretty good climb. So that's what that means. And the very last one I have for you is the whites. A lot of people will talk about and refer to the whites. The whites are in New Hampshire. They are the White Mountains, and they are, it's a difficult section of the trail, but it's also the most beautiful and most fun. The White Mountains are amazing. So yeah, people talk about them a lot, but you've got to be safe, you got to be careful and ready for that. If you're going northbound, then your trail legs will be good and strong by the time you get to the White Mountains, and you should be ready to tackle that challenge. But they are a challenge, but they are so worth it. The most fantastic views on the Appalachian Trail and great experiences. So don't be afraid of the White Mountains. Just be cautious and ready. Have good gear. Have your trail legs, and be ready for some weather that can change quickly and get pretty harsh. But other than that, you're pretty good to go. You know, common sense and such. But that is the term, slang, acronyms, and such that I have for this second video. So hope these were helpful. Hope you can understand what people are saying and referring to a little bit easier. If you have any more that I've skipped and missed, because there's so many out there, feel free to leave them in the comments so other people can see them and learn. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.